Hello from the other side. Okay. Recording and in 3, 2. So hello there everyone and welcome to the show. My name is Wheelhouse and this is the very first episode too. It's just a podcast. Roll the titles. Woohoo! So hello there everyone and welcome to a brand new podcast series called It's Just a Podcast. Now I feel as if I should tell you a little bit about myself. So my name's Lewis Wheelhouse, I'm 22 and I'm from a little known place called Yorkshire. Can I have a new? Ooh. So I'm going to be with you all for the next 6 weeks. Not just online, but It's Just a Podcast is proud to be coming straight to Flashback Radio. So to all of our listeners over there, hello and welcome, and I am very much happy to be here. And from this podcast, we hope to try and make your day that little bit more brighter by putting a smile on your faces. And I'll do my absolute best to make that happen. So yeah, anyways, without further ado, let's get cracking with today's show then, shall we? So sit yourselves down, folks, and get comfortable because this is It's Just a Podcast. Now, I don't know whether you heard about this, but back in around June, a man called Matty Roberts from California created a Facebook event page that got the internet buzzing with excitement. The page was titled Storm Area 51, They Can't Take All of Us, and this was basically made as a bit of a joke on this guy's part, as many people have wondered for a long time what goes on within the grounds of Area 51, as the place is most commonly known to be a secret government facility that is, hiding aliens. Now, as much as it was all one big joke on this guy's part, the event page attracted millions of people saying that they was going to attend and basically on the 20th of September storm this government facility. And despite this being the most anticipated of events, according to BBC News, only 75 people turned up at the front gates. And that's not the funniest bit. The funniest bit is that only 2 people got arrested, right? A man for urinating near the entrance and a woman was detained for undisclosed reasons. I honestly do not know what she did, but yeah, I've got an idea because I'll tell you something. The thing is, I've got a little bit of a secret to tell you all here. I actually attended the Raid Area 51 event. Honestly, no liar, I really did travel to America and I was going to make a special about it on It's Just a Podcast. And let's just say that things didn't go quite as planned. Here's how it went down. So, hello listeners, Lewis here. So, it's Friday the 20th of September and I'm coming from a small wooden shack in the middle of nowhere, actually. Now, I'm meant to be making my way over to Area 51 to kick off this mission to get into this government facility. But the thing is, I seem to be a little bit stuck. It's hard to explain. Where I am is like a mini toilet in the middle of nowhere, literally the middle of nowhere, and I'd already walked for miles and miles and really needed the loo, and you know when you've got to go, you've really got to go. Now, I can't get out. Seriously, I'm stuck! Hello?
Now, it's not just me on this mission, because that would be a bit silly. There's a group of us, and we call ourselves the UFO Research Direct Society. Yeah, that's TERS for short. Now, the old brains behind the operation is Brian. Cleverest guy I know, and he's a bit of a computer geek-like, but there's nothing that guy doesn't know about breaking into government systems. And I probably shouldn't have said that bit on air. Can we cut that? Cheers. And it's his job to get us in there by using his computer hacking skills to break the locks and get the gates open to get us into the facility.
Shh. Almost there. Right, going to have to do this a bit quietly. Can't make a noise.
Your mama's calling back.
Oh no.
For no reason,
Not now, Mother. Don't think anyone heard.
So waste your minutes talking about the cat.
word.
Next is Ralph. Now, good old Ralphie boy is on lookout duties outside. He's always alert, always focused, and he won't let anything distract him.
Oh, man. I can't hold it in for much longer. Nope. I'm gonna have to go. Excuse me. Hello?
Step away from the gate, sir, else I'll have you arrested.
Okay, see, I was just wondering, any chance I could use the bathroom in there?
Nice try, kid. Now move along. This is a private government facility.
No, shoot. I don't think he can see me from here.
Ralph, what are you doing? Pull your pants up, Ralph. Oh, my word.
Sweet Jesus.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Hey, you!
Ah, no.
Are you peeing on private property?
Me? No. I was watering the cactus here.
Say, it's funny looking water.
Huh?
Is it orange juice you put on it?
Yeah, no, it's my own invention. It's cactus. It's cactus juice that I invented. See?
I am arresting you for not only stepping onto private government property, but for also urinating on it as well. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Oh, dear.
Come with me, sir.
You can't take all of us. The truth will be discovered eventually.
And then lastly, there's Beatrice. Now, I've known Beatrice for many years, and one thing that makes her stand out from the rest of us is that she's very good with her disguises. And because of that, we have assigned Beatrice to use her camouflaging skills to blend into the background and get into Area 51 from the outside. And I think that this time she's pulled a right corker with this disguise. It blends into the natural environment, surely overlooked by the security guards that'll be at the gate. They won't even acknowledge that she's there. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Beatrice's latest disguise, Beatrice the Cactus!
Oh, it's peed all over my chuffing costume. Oh, that's disgusting.
Continue to struggle, sir, and I will have no option but to use my taser.
What, that thing? That thing's probably not even real. Okay, it's real. It's real.
Now, with me, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, right you are.
This is my chance. And go, go, go. I've made it. This is Area 51.
Another one here, sir. Was having a tinkle on the property.
You, over there in the corner, now.
Yes, yes, sir.
Bring in the other one.
Righto.
There's more than just me. The others will get into your facility and discover the truth about the aliens. Don't you worry. Oh.
Hiya.
Now, the pair of you, sit down over here where I can see you both.
Who? Us?
No, I meant those two guys with their invisible cloaks over there.
Okay, sweet. We'll be heading off then.
Think he was being sarcastic, mate.
Oh.
Sit down now!
Yes, sir.
So, you two know each other?
No!
Yes.
Oh,
From your accents, you don't sound like you're from here. How far you traveled?
we've been in here on vacation.
Travelled 500 miles to get here. Exhausting, wasn't it, mate?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, all we want is a quick guided tour of your government facility. Take a couple pics, preferably with aliens, and, then we'll be on our way.
Yeah.
Right. And who are you both?
I'm Charlie Reed.
And I am Gary Taylor. That's me.
We came here to discover the truth about Area 51.
Of course. I should have realized. You're a part of the crazy mob, aren't you? And you just here kind of out of interest? Or you do this kind of thing all the time? You know, alien hunting in private government properties.
Hey, hand him the card.
Oh, yes.
Turds.
How dare you? We are very well respected members of our local community, actually.
says here you're called turds.
Oh, yes. We are the UFO Research Direct Society, otherwise known as Turds.
You being serious?
Oh, yeah, we have a website, too. It's real nice, real pretty.
I see that here on your card. It says www.officialturds.co.uk.
Feel free to keep the card in case you want to join. We're very low on members at the moment.
Especially now, two are going to prison.
Shut up, Ralph.
I'm sorry.
The motion detection units have picked up movement coming from beyond the gate. Just waiting on the CCTV feed now.
You two know anything about this?
It'll be Beatrice.
Shut up.
You might want to look at this one, Sarge. There seems to be a cactus making its way towards Area 51.
A cactus? This one of yours?
No.
Get a fix on the target. And have a unit on site to arrest this cactus.
Oh, she's a target now.
I want to be a target.
They're closing in on the target now.
Might be armed, so approach with caution. Get the boys down there and have snipers surrounding the area immediately.
Snipers!
So lucky.
You what?
Being surrounded by sniper rifles for breaking into Area 51. Not something you'll forget, is that?
It's a story to tell a grandkid.
Definitely.
I wish we had snipers.
What are you two on about back there?
Oh, nothing.
Helicopters are on the way and the units are ready in position.
If the target makes any suspicious moves, take 'em out. You hear me?
Yes, boss.
Have you got any popcorn? This is like watching an action movie.
You what?
Sorry, my friend hasn't really grasped the situation. Have you, Ralph?
No. Sorry, Brian.
Wait, didn't you say you're both called Charlie? What was it? Charlie Reed and Gary Taylor?
But
I would walk 500 miles. I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles
Shut
to
up!
fall down at your door. Sorry.
I think I'm going to get away with this. Nobody will stop me now.
This is the police! Throw your hands up in the air!
Person in the cactus costume, we have you surrounded. Stop whatever you are doing and put your little spiky green arms in the air.
That's cacti.
Is this your cactus?
Yeah, that as well.
And then there's me. I'm meant to be documenting this whole thing, but I'm stuck in here! They're probably out there discovering the truth about Area 51 and fighting off these aliens for the saviour of humanity.
Let go of me.
Shut up. Hello.
Hello.
Breaking news has just come in that 3 individuals who call themselves turds. No, sorry, that's short for the UFO Research Direct Society, have all been arrested and detained in custody for attempting to break into Area 51 this afternoon. A source claims that the 3, who all go by the names of Brian, Ralph and Beatrice, have all been arrested on site this afternoon. Goes by the name of Lewis This is hilarious. They call themselves turds. Oh my word. Best thing I've heard all day. Yes, okay, fella. Now you get your man to take them bricks and cement over to Mexico pronto. Then we can get started on the wall. Excellent, goodbye.
So yeah, that didn't quite work out as planned, and I'm still waiting to hear back from Brian, Ralph and Beatrice, who are, let's just say, currently detained in custody back in America. Sorry about that one, guys. So if the sound of his voice is all new to you, my name is Lewis, I'm 22 and I'm from Yorkshire, and no, this isn't blind date, by the way. No, seriously, I am from Yorkshire! Yorkshire? Yorkshire? Oh, come on. We must have a Yorkshire accent sound, surely. Think of Last of the Summer Wine. Emmerdale. That sort of thing.
Gears a butty.
There you go. And for those who need that translating, let's ask Cyril. Cyril, what does Gizzabutty mean? Takes its time, doesn't it?
The sentence is known as Yorkshire dialect. But he is referred to as a sandwich, and this sentence can simply be put as, please may I have one of those delightful looking cheese and pickle sandwiches.
Right, okay. Slightly intrigued as to why it chose a cheese and pickle sandwich there, but there you go. Right, I've had an idea. Let's see what happens if I give it a normal phrase and see if it'll give me a Yorkshire version of it. Bit of an education lesson, really. Right. Cyril, turn English to Yorkshire translation on.
English to Yorkshire translation mode activated.
Right, let's give it a go. Cyril, give me the Yorkshire translation for "This is quite possibly the best news I've ever received."
Oh, I'm chuffed to bits with that.
There you go. Let's try another one. Cyril, give me the Yorkshire translation for "Why, hello, my lady."
How do, love?
That's great, is that? Love this modern technology. Right, let's give it one more shot. And finally, Cyril, would you give me the Yorkshire translation for "That's absolute rubbish"? Oh, seems to be struggling with this one.
Rubbish in Yorkshire dialect can be said in numerous ways.
Right.
Some common examples are
Bag of
Oh.
or there's
proper
Oh no.
or you could say
like
Jeez, that's enough of that. Might not get past episode 1 if that thing carries on. What else could I say about me? Well, I'm 5'8", and I make films as well. And as quoted by the grandparents, that ain't a proper job. Funny that, as if nobody made films, then I'm naught to watch throughout the rest of their retired lives. But yet again, they seem very happy watching the news as of lately. I'm kicking a fuss on Brexit, so that's debatable. Speaking of Brexit, let's see how the negotiations are going down at the Houses of Commons.
Off he goes. Have you got Sue? Coming out here! Oh, this is impossible. I've never seen it.
Don't worry, that's just Sweep there from the Sutty Show. But I do have to admit, Sweep is making a hell of a lot more sense in that than our actual politicians are at the moment. Oh dear. Right, so anyway, what are we going to be talking about in this podcast? Well, in this edition of It's Just a Podcast, I'm going to be discussing why on earth we should all get into reading. And you know, I never quite expected to be saying those words in my lifetime, but it's true. And I'm going to be diving straight into exactly why now. So, cup of teas at the ready, folks, and let's get started with our very first topic of the series. Okay, so reading's something that I've been doing a hell of a lot more of as of the start of this year. And I can't really speak for everyone here, but it is known that reading is becoming a bit of a dying habit. Now, I don't really think that this is because people don't actually like to read. I think it's because there's more faster and alternative things these days, you know, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But that's not to say that reading hasn't caught up with the times, as now we pay for stuff like subscriptions for magazines and newspapers, as well as reading ebooks, for instance. So reading is adapting with the times, but on the other hand, social media on our computers and tablets do seem to be outgrowing the old-fashioned way of just reading a book in our hands, for example. Now maybe it's the case that you're listening because you don't read enough, or perhaps you read a lot and need to encourage a friend to get into reading. I don't know. Taken me a while to be persuaded to get into reading more, but now that I'm doing more of it, I really do see the advantages of reading. And hopefully after this podcast, you all will too. So why should we all be getting into reading? I'm going to be answering this right after a quick break. Plus, I haven't been to the toilet yet, so speak to you all in a minute. Don't go anywhere!
Just broken up with your boyfriend, or perhaps been fired from a job and in need of stress relief? Well, what you need is 3 tubs of Ken & Sherry's ultra tasty Chunky Monkey. And not only that, if you use our secret discount code K&S Addicts, you can get an extra 3 for free. So that's 6 whole tubs you can enjoy whilst eating away those depressing feelings. Ken & Sherry's ice cream, making splitting up with your boyfriend worth it.
We at Holy Crap Snacks like to think out of the box and are introducing a whole new line of crisps just for you, including urine-flavored crisps, drunk yobbo-flavored crisps, old lunch Tupperware box-flavored crisps, and our most popular yet, soggy plaster in a swimming pool-flavored crisps. So, what are you waiting for? Get hold of a packet today and try out a flavor that no manufacturers ever tried making before.
Lost Planet Studios presents a full cast audio drama.
Think of your worst ever nightmare coming to life.
James.
Answer me, man.
Get off him.
Find a man called Jimmy Hunter. Kill him. I'm counting on you, James.
The Detective audio series, a reminder of the past, coming this autumn to Lost Planet Studios.
Jack! He's alive!
1, 2, 3,
go! Catch an all-new episode of It's Just a Podcast every Saturday at 4 over on Flashback Radio. Okay, so hello and welcome back to It's Just a Podcast with me, Lewis Wheelhouse. Right, had my quick loo break, so let's get into why we should all be getting into reading. Cue swish. Reason number 1. Opens your mind. Now, reading, it does make you a better judge of character, and it also improves your tolerance towards things. I'd say, opens you up to understanding, and it helps you to get grips with different feelings and emotions. All of this, it opens you up to the world, and it shows it's okay to be different, making you more acceptance of others, as well as maybe perhaps yourself. Reason number 2. Meeting with people. Right, okay. So do you usually have to leave a room when a conversation gets deep, or you struggle to understand? Well, don't worry, as this is completely natural, and I have actually been there myself hundreds of times. Well, reading can alter your opinions on a certain matter, and this will make you seem a lot more interesting to talk to, as you'll be able to open up a debate on a various new subjects that you are now aware of thanks to a good old-fashioned book. It's amazing! Reason number 3. Gives your mind a workout. Now, reading, it has the gift of giving your memory a workout, and by reading a good book, you remember key characters or plots within a story, and this, within itself, will keep your memory active. I'd like to say that it helps when you're later reading and needing to remember that one important thing that you normally struggle with, but because you've now read a book, it makes you more intelligent and it opens your brain to, it makes it easy for you to remember stuff, I find. It just makes your memory a hell of a lot more better and intelligent. Now, the question is, which should you go for? Fiction or non-fiction? I guess both are fine, as at the end of the day you are reading, but let me tell you a bit about both based on the experiences I've had with reading. Why read fiction? Reading fiction, I think, personally, is better than watching any television programme out there, or watching any film, or playing video games, for example, as it allows us to use our own imagination. There's also a huge benefit of reading a good non-fiction book because there's so much more practical applications you can get using information from a non-fiction that is so useful, like with what you're doing in your day-to-day life, for example. Reason number 4. Improves your focus. In life, our focuses are all over the place. And in today's day and age, a person's 5 minutes are divided between watching TV, for example, checking our phones, browsing the internet, cooking food, or doing our day-to-day jobs, and also checking through our media resources on our phones or tablets like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Snapchat, emails, that sort of thing. But if you read a good book, it can make you completely forget about the surrounding world. And finally, reason number 5. Helps create I imagine. The thing is with reading, it puts you into a character's shoes, as your brain goes beyond the words in a page, imagining details such as appearances, emotions and surroundings, and this will challenge the brain to become more creative and imaginative. I mean, one of the books I've actually read this year was an autobiography, and I couldn't recommend reading one enough, as you're diving into another person's life, and it can be both fun as well as educational. But I guess at the end of the day, it all starts with picking a right book, doesn't it? As I started reading one recently, and after about 50 pages, I got a bit bored of it. So those are the sort of books you just don't bother reading anymore, and you just try and find another one. So what about audiobooks? Where do they stand in the reading branch? And are they just as valuable as books are? I would probably say hell yeah, because... hell yeah! because audiobooks are opening up the opportunity for people to read a book whilst on the move. I'll give you an example. Audiobooks are good for when you're driving, for example, washing up the dishes, or easy listening before bed. All sorts, really. And people like me who are dyslexic and dyspraxic sometimes struggle with reading, so audiobooks are good for this sort of reason as well. I mean, fortunately for me, I'm only mildly dyslexic and dyspraxic, but I can feel their pain as sometimes reading does become a bit too difficult for me as well, so I can really appreciate the advantages of listening to a good audiobook. So yeah, that's pretty much it really, and perhaps you've got more reasons as to why we should be getting into reading. If you have, or maybe this podcast has inspired you to pick up a book, let us know at JustaPodcastUK over on Twitter, as we'd love to hear from you. But if you don't have Twitter, not a problem. Here's all the other ways you can get in touch with us here at It's Just a Podcast.
If you've got something to say, then we definitely want to hear it. You can post your comments on Facebook over at It's Just a Podcast. Tweet us at It's Just a Podcast UK, where you can go over and follow us. But we advise you don't follow us in person, as, you know, that's just a little bit creepy. Or you can give us a shout by sending us an email to itsjustapodcastuk@gmail.com. So go on then, get in touch.
Now, if you want to take reading one step further and go beyond the pages, as it will, see what I did there, perhaps you might be interested in giving writing a go. Whether you're writing a fiction or non-fiction story, whatever it is, give it a go, and maybe you could enter your short film stories into a writing competition and get your stories heard of for the world to pick up and read. But the question is, where do I begin when it comes to writing competitions? As to be honest, there is plenty to choose from, and a lot of competitions come with a juicy cash prize as well. Now, if you're a budding young author that's aged between 5 to 13, BBC Radio 2's 500 word story writing competition is a good one. Now, they don't offer a cash prize. However, they do have opportunities for budding young writers to get into stories and get them heard. So I'd definitely go and check that one out. But just bear in mind that it is done for this year, but do keep an eye on the website, as I'm sure they'll be back next year. Now, for a more older audience, check out such competitions like Kindle Storyteller Award and the BBC Young Writers Award. All the links will be available in our bios in all of our podcasts that are available to listen to online. So head on over there and get writing. Now, because we're living in a very digital day and age, I'd probably suggest the best place of getting a book would be online, on such sites like Amazon or eBay. And there's also thousands, if not millions of ebooks out there as well. And to access those, just head on over to places like the Google Play Store, Apple Books, or Amazon Kindle Books. The digital world of accessing books these days is at your oyster. And you can also get an Oyster card for £5.99. Anybody that wants to help us with Oyster cards and wants to be a sponsorship, please get in touch down below. Or don't, because that'd be a bit weird. But you want to stick with the old-fashioned way of purchase, eh? Well, not a problem, as books are available in all good retailers like WH Smith's, Waterstones, and maybe a nearby charity shop. And if I haven't convinced you yet to get into reading, I honestly don't know what will. Right, so we're coming up into the last few minutes of the podcast, but we aren't quite finished yet, as it's time for this.
You've got a minute to win it! Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, so hello and welcome to A Minute to Win It. Now, the game is very simple. Shortly, I'm going to be welcoming my younger sister, Evelyn Wheelhouse, into the studio, and she's got exactly 1 minute to make the person on the other end of the phone say a certain word of my choosing. And that person, by the way, is going to be my grandma, Val Wheelhouse. But since it's the first game, I'm going to mix things up a bit, as Evelyn isn't going to know the word until I show it to her on a piece of paper whilst she's on the phone. So she's going to have to think fast. So anyway, let's play A Minute to Win It.
You've got a minute to win it! Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, so hello and welcome to A Minute to Win It, Evelyn. You alright?
Hello.
Hello. Right, now the rules of the game. What you've got to do is you've got to speak to Grandma and you've got exactly 1 minute to make her say a chosen word of my choice. Okay. Now that word I am going to give to you only when you're on the phone to her. So Evelyn, are you up for the challenge?
Yeah.
Right, so you've got exactly a minute. But there are rules to this game. You're not allowed to mention within the 60 seconds that you're playing Minute to Win It, okay?
Okay.
Also, you can't directly tell them of the chosen word. And then lastly, the only rule left is that you've got to do it within the 60 seconds. And any second over, you'll lose the game.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
Does she actually know about me?
Hello?
Hi, Grandma, you right?
Yes?
Good, good. Now Evelyn wants a word, is that alright?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, hang on. Right, I've just put on mute. The word is potato. Go.
Hello.
Hello there. You alright?
Do you know like how to put like a roast dinner on and stuff, like to put the things on?
Yeah.
Because Mummy asked me to put it on. And she said
I'm still down to do it.
I just forgotten what she asked me to put it on. So with a roast dinner, what are them what are the things you have, like you put the beef on, she's already put the beef on, you put vegetables, but what else do you put on?
Potatoes.
Oh, no! We're playing a game show, Grandma, on the podcast called Minute to Win It. You're on the podcast.
Oh, have I won it?
No, you've lost. Evelyn's won.
Oh, no.
Right, so basically she had a minute to win it, and she's won it because she needed you to say the word potato. And you said it.
Right.
So, yeah, there you go. You've just won Evelyn the point on today's show. Okay, so that pretty much sums it up for this podcast. Thank you all very much for listening. And if you don't want to miss out on any single one of our future podcasts, do make sure to subscribe to the official It's Just a Podcast YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your week, everyone, and see you all back here next time next week. Adios, amigos! This podcast has been produced by Lost Planet Studios, as well as presented and edited by Lewis Wheelhouse.